Oh, fantastic. Hello to the People's Republic of Western Australia. Oh, Josh, that was an exciting, riveting ending, wasn't it, mate? My
Quite
goodness
hectic,
me.
yes.
It was a rather hectic ending. Oh, and look, colleagues, it's lovely to see you for White Club on this International Women's Day. We are thrilled to see you. Ruth, that was exciting, wasn't it? It's all happening. Well, we love the diversity. That's what a university is about. And Damien, we need to go. How famous is Damien once more? Log Damien. Let's just log Damien. How you going, Damien?
Good. It's been a busy week.
It has been. You are amazing, darling. So congratulations on all the success. Is that the article you wrote in Right Club that came out this week?
It is, yeah, yeah. So very happy for it to be out. I can share a link in the discussion if anyone wants to have a look.
That is absolutely fantastic. And Bev, welcome to you, my love. It's lovely to see you. You're a superstar. Welcome to your first session. It's not frightening, really. We're happy people. Happy people. And Saji, welcome. So, colleagues, I'm thrilled to see you all. This is an exciting time. And beautiful Sophia has joined us again. Saji, I can't manage without you. I love you in the dark green, mate. That's a great colour for you. Living the dream. So, colleagues, let's have a great time. I want fantastic, powerful work from you for 29 minutes. We'll just wait for the wonderful Liam to join us. Liam, you are legendary. We're doing well, Liam. You're the best. Colleagues, see you in 29 minutes. Let's write for change. See you soon. Pardon me. Goodness me. last minute, colleagues. Sorry, Megan. And colleagues, we are concluded. We are concluded. Oh, that was an exciting group of people. So, Bev, no pressure on you. We go around and have a little chat with everybody about what they've written, but don't panic. We're all hanging in there and fabulous. And Michael, we are thrilled to see you too, brother. Welcome. It's lovely to see you. But let's start with the legend that is Josh, the man who changes my life every single day. Now, Josh, what were you writing on, mate?
I got some good news this week. So one of the pieces I was writing in here a while back has come back from peer review with pretty minor revisions, so it's looking good. One of the sticking points in there, or not sticking points, but a good point raised was this was on the peer review refusal piece, and so the idea being that with the oligopoly of publishers, profit model, etc. Lots of academics are refusing to peer review while still putting articles out into the system and clogging it up. And in there, we made a comment that it disadvantages early career researchers because my co-author and I are ECRs. And one of the reviewers came back saying, "Oh, I don't quite see this," because I didn't make the argument. I didn't make the argument very explicit initially. So I've been spending some time trying to flesh that out quite a bit, because my argument is that higher education is progressively, less and less funded and more competitive. So you now have people that are professors or something. So for example, if they lose their job, they're going to take the next job down. And so you're getting this declining pressure being put on. And so early career researchers aren't competing just with ECRs, they're competing with more senior people. And so if the peer review system clogs up, and I'm on my, and it's the difference between my 10th and my 11th article for a grant application compared to Tara's, 370th versus Tara's 371st journal article for a grant application, the damage is more severe.
Correct.
And I'm just trying to find some better evidence available for that. So if anyone knows any good stuff on higher education, something to do with the trickling down effect of this, I've been using a bit of analysis of ARC grants with early career, including associate professors, as some examples, but I haven't found anything.
Josh, seek out the late great Stan or Stanley Arnowitz. Stan the man had some very interesting work about what's happening at the top end of town and the rupture or the gap. So, I used to call it the kicking of the ladder. So you've climbed up there and you've kicked the ladder. So Stan the man Arnowitz would be very useful on that. I tell you what, Josh, send an email to Jamie and I, because Jamie's got some interesting stuff from the experimental sciences on how ASPROs, associate professors, are competing with professors and not managing, let alone ECRs in ARCs. So, Josh, we might have a little three-way conversation about that. But, Josh, that's fascinating. I'll ponder that.
Much.
But Stan the man Arnowitz is the guy that says there's the top end of town and they don't give a damn about you, girlfriend.
Cool.
Fantastic.
Thank you very much. I'll definitely chase you up.
Congratulations, mate. That's tremendous. And our lovely Anastasia is with us. So, my love, what were you writing on this week? I get so excited when we talk to you. What were you writing on, darling?
Hello, everyone. Something wrong with him, but I couldn't unmute myself. I was basically doing the same as last week. I had a meeting with my supervisors on Wednesday, so I was basically writing the first paragraph of my discussion section.
Wow.
Because it's something new for me compared to, results section, even introduction, all the other sections in the paper. So I had a bit of an idea how to write that, but discussion, something completely unfamiliar to me, because even in other writing that I have done so far in my PhD, colloquium document, for example, or annual reviews, I have never done discussion section, so it's quite a challenge. And yeah, I have I got some pretty good comments on Wednesday, so I'm trying to. So what my supervisor said, that the points are there, it's just a bit all over the place, it's a bit messy, so I need to clearly formulate them in my first paragraph, basically state my main ideas in the first paragraph and then elaborate on them like paragraph by paragraph. So 1 point for 1 paragraph, and then a short conclusion at the end. So that was
Anastasia, brilliant, my love. And use the old Brabazon technique to put in lots and lots of headings so you can actually scaffold the spine and you can see when bits don't fit. So try that. And also, Anastasia, if it helps, darling, the way I teach discussion chapters is take me by the hand and walk me through the data. So explain to me the data that you've given me, right? So we're not doing the big outcomes and everything. Just take me through a walk through the data. And that's a discussion chapter.
Thank you.
Oh, you're an absolute superstar. And to our other superstar, the lady in red, I need a brand in colour. Megan, what were you writing on?
I'm actually inspired by a previous conversation. I can't remember if it was in office hours or Write Club, but on writing book reviews.
Yeah,
it was a very recent discussion. So I'm trialing writing. Yeah, I think it was Josh, wasn't it?
Josh.
Yeah.
Always Josh. It's always Josh.
I tell you, I don't care if he's gay. I'm marrying him anyway.
Yeah, I understand it.
Yeah. Oh, Kylie wants to marry him too. Yeah.
This is getting bad, Josh. I apologise in advance. Please continue, Megan.
Yeah. So I've been trialing doing book reviews and thoroughly enjoying it. So I'm just writing today on Rising Strong, which of course is going to become part of my thesis as well. But I'll absolutely be sending them away for publication after my wonderful supervisor has gone through them all and said, no, this is crap, this is good, leave that. I'm just so lucky to have that particular supervisor.
It's going to be a big weekend, Megan. It's going to be a big weekend.
Yeah, no, you can always put my stuff aside. I know that you're really busy, so it's okay.
No, the most important person, don't do that. Don't do that. The most important person deserves attention. No, I'm excited. So let's see the genre that our girl is constructing. Megan, you rock. And Josh, you rock. See, inspire. You inspire. Fantastic. And look, speaking of inspire, Damien, how many pieces has Damien written since we all met Damien about 7 months ago? This is just hashtag no pressure. So Damien, what were you writing on now that you're even more famous than you were last week?
I don't know about that.
I do.
I am working on the development commissioning chapter of my thesis, which looks at how development commissioning as a process affects queer representation in Australian television. It is, I would argue, my weakest chapter. It was very long because it's a very slippery and complicated, ongoing, never-ending process. And so I spent this week going, what are the 3 core ideas I actually want to argue in this? And I've identified them. I've kind of put them as headings, put everything that fits underneath each of them, and now I'm like doing the work through to get them all to flow together. So I've gotten it back down to about 9,000 words from about 14,000.
Damien, you're going to help so many people from what you've just said there. What people forget is you write long and you edit down, right? So when you've got a baggy chapter, and we all have what I call baggy chapters, we go, there's an argument here somewhere, dude. Wow. And you just put the headings in, you start to do that matching game we used to play as kids, match. You start the matching game, and then suddenly 15,000 words becomes 9, mate. So well done, Damien. And can I just ask as a favour to our early career researchers, our PhD students, how did you know it was the weakest chapter? That's clever too. How did you know?
Like, honestly, it's just the one that I have struggled the most to explain to someone. Like, if someone says, my supervisor's like, what's this chapter about? I couldn't tell them. I end up waffling for 20 minutes about how complicated it is and how it kind of starts when someone starts pitching a project, but it actually goes right until the day production starts, and it could still be going through development and workshopping right up to that point. And I was trying to explain all that, and I needed to get down to the nuts and bolts of what it actually did to my subject matter. And so, yeah, today's have been all about creating a market imperative for queerness, and that's kind of been the section I've worked on. And then next will be about areas and takes in the development framework, and then it is looking at kind of pushing mainstream ideals.
I think you've just changed everybody's life again, Damien. That's a ripper. And you're turning what would be the weakest chapter into the strongest chapter. It is amazing how often that happens, Damien. Congratulations. And you'll really help people with that diagnostic, mate, because I always worry about students that when they're reading their own work, they don't see the problem in the work, the capacity to go, this is a strong chapter, this is a weak chapter. Very hard to do. You've helped people, Damien. Legendary as you always do. Love you, mate. You're a legend. To our new starter in the program, the legendary Michael. Michael, do you want to just say hi? And were you writing on something, or were sort of just getting your head together during that 30 minutes?
Mostly just getting my head together. Apologies too. Did you hear my phone call? I thought I was mute, and then I looked back and it wasn't. But,
look, I didn't, and I would have loved it if I had. So don't worry about it.
Okay,
It's fantastic.
As long as I didn't distract everyone there and no one listened in, but that's fine. For me, I'm just at the stage of starting the confirmation, so turning all the ideas and possibilities and trying to focus down into questions, I guess. So, and exploring the literature, but trying to not to get distracted with rabbit holes, I guess. So happy to take any tips there if anyone's got some.
Oh, there will be tons, Michael, mate, but I always use the heading argument. So you might have your first initial document might have 50 headings. It's just attached to a paragraph, and that allows you to remember what the hell was that paragraph about. So you hook up the heading with the idea, and then as you match the paragraphs together, you start to scoop out and remove headings. So just mate, at this early stage, treat the COC document like yoga and just stretch. Just keep stretching the ideas. It doesn't matter if they sort of go nowhere and we're on a road to nowhere. Don't worry about that. Write until you're exhausted and then return to it and see where it goes. So no judgment at this point, just words on the page are always better than a blank screen. Good on you, mate. And as we go around, if anyone wants to have a chat with Michael, you do that. Let's go to the beautiful Maeve, our black and white queen this morning. So, Maeve, what were you writing on, my darling?
I was writing on the Society of the Spectacle.
Lovely book. Great book. Great.
So I feel pleased yesterday and today. I've got a lot going on, which everyone does, but I've been chunking away and trying to get really deep into the theoretical of psychogeography so that can go probably paragraph 6 kind of, or maybe 8. Anyway, at the front of that chapter, and doing that work and linking that into claustropolitanism where I can.
Very clever. And there's a lovely, and I've never thought that through, Maeve, but there's a lovely sort of 1968, post-1968 issue to ponder. I'll talk with Liam about that too. So well done, Maeve. That is very strong, very powerful. Well done, you. Hang in there, girlfriend. And let's go to the Dougster, who, like Michael, is also preparing his COC and has been from his week 1 too, I think, Michael. Dougster, how you going, brother? What were you doing?
Catching up my homework from Tuesday. I've had a splitting headache all week, so I'm not doing the best work. So I'm just going to hand up the homework as it is, and then do the minutes from Tuesday and call it quits for the day because my head's just thumping. It's yeah.
Oh,
So, yeah, but it's a good long weekend. It's the heat wave and all that, so it's great.
Darling, you just hang in there, and if it helps you at all, my love, it's the people who work when they don't want to work, the people who do a little bit of work on the dreadful days. They're the people that make it, Doug, all right?
Yeah, thanks.
You're very precious. And speaking of precious, it's Kylie time. It's Kylie time. So Kyles, you legendary human. Now, where are we now with you, gorgeous?
Again, doing the jobs of the week that you don't really want to get. It was a bit like Damien, where I've got all these chapters and I'm sort of looking at it going, I can't even work out where it's taking me. So I sort of pulled back. I pulled Josh's PhD, which he was kindly enough to send me ages ago, and a few other ones that I've gotten, and went, okay, how did they signpost? How did they pull it together? What did they smush and where did they smush it? So I could start getting my bits and smushing it all together. So thanks again, Josh.
This is becoming the Josh celebration show, isn't it? Like, we're going to give Josh his own channel. This is unbelievable. But Carl's reading great theses. And I said this, Michael, to our wonderful colleagues on our orientation this week. Reading a thesis is the greatest gift you can give your thesis. It's a genre, it's a way of thinking. So it's just like if you love dance music, listen to dance music and you learn about dance music.
And it's really good because I know what my university structure looks like, but it's really just, bleh. It doesn't enthuse me at all. So I'm going to be putting bits from the other bits that I like and smushing it in. If they don't like it, too bad, it's my thesis.
Kylie, you're the best. And smushing is the word we'll carry forward through the day.
Needless, it's a technical engineering term, you know, smushing.
You're the best, Kylie. And look, clearly no smushing is occurring in Kirsty and her lifestyle location. So Kirsty, how are you and where are we with you? Because obviously it's all been happening the last few weeks. So how are you going?
Well, today, on your advice, I did not go near any feedback. So I did not address any of that. However, I've been thinking this week a lot about the question that was raised last week in Right Club about how do I occupy this space as a researcher? And as I get towards the end of the PhD, you know, what sort of researcher do I want to be? And yeah, and so I've really been thinking about that. And I'm also starting my nearly finished, but then it's only the first finish, which means I've got about 5 more finishes to go yet on my youth chapter. And I have been attempting to read this article on educators' experiences in navigating climate change education all week. And so my goal this morning was I am using this hour of power to get that article read, and it was so interesting and it's so reflective of some of my findings from the youth voices, and this was interviewing educators. So I'm really, really pleased about that and got some really good insights to discuss in my thesis. So yeah, and as far as it goes, occupying this space as a researcher, I really thought about how can I be calmer in the chaos that does seem to be academia, and how can I be kinder in the chaos that seems to be academia, and as well as, you know, have that sense of integrity and leadership, but not get caught in a lot of things that I see happening sort of the more you move into that early career researcher space. So so everything that everyone's talked about today has really added to those reflections. So thank you.
Kirsty, you are a blessing to us. As a favour to Doug, because I am Doug's research assistant, could you put that title of that article in the chat for the Dougster? Because that would be quite useful. Oh, and Susan Australian. Susan, talk to us, my darling. What were you working on, beautiful girl?
Oh, sorry.
Hi, sweetness.
I was saying to Kirsty, I was saying to her that I'm actually working on climate change education. So I don't know if she wants to interact with me on it. So I'm not doing a thesis, I'm doing a paper. So this week I've been part of a process. It's more than this week. Anyway, but I got flew into, I'm part of a process, and my aim is to write a paper as to why there should be mandatory climate change education among undergraduate students. So I don't know what your focus is, but I would love, if you're interested, maybe we could interact. I mean, outside of this session.
Kirsty, that'd be great.
Yeah, I'll put my email in the chat. It'd be great. Okay. Thanks, Susan.
Fantastic. And Susan, you're well, darling. What were you writing on, my love? Thank you, Kirsty. What were you writing on, Susan?
Well, I wasn't doing any writing. So I was just thinking, sorry, I made a commitment that I'm going to be writing at this time no matter what. So I was out with I'm in Miami. I was out with my brother and his wife and my brother's wife's daughter a while ago. Like literally, I just got back in. So I'm going to be doing my writing today after this. So I think what I'm going to do, like what I just heard, is that I just had a lot of feedback on this paper that I thought I had done a good job on. And the feedback was like, oh, like like they like the argument, they like some of the arguments, but they didn't like some of the, what is it now? We have to write an ethics question, and then they were saying to make it more likely that the argument would actually ring true to the intended audience, that there needs to have a rethink. So that, like, in a sense, it kind of upended the whole thing. So I was just very happy to hear people saying the same thing that I was being told, that it's really good in the genre you're wanting to write in, to read, to re-examine. Like, so earlier today, for example, I was actually looking at other articles related. So for example, Lancet just came up with an article about why medical school must have articles, not articles, education in that area. So if I can read and absorb those kind of arguments, I can make a similar argument. So I've more been trying to absorb how to respond to feedback than to actual write. But I just love what I just heard just now in terms of, like, it just reinforced what I was hearing this week from the people who have been giving me feedback. So I just find this reactor very helpful. So that's where I am.
Susan, you are a blessing to us, and it's a great lens. And Josh and I talk about this a lot and think about this a lot in terms of start with the audience. Sometimes you've got the knowledge system, start with the audience and have that as the first lens. Thank you, Susan. You are a gift to us. And look, we'll go to our wonderful Bev. So Bev, say whatever you feel like saying. I'm terribly excited. So Bev, tell us about what you wrote, how you're going. Were you just orienting yourself? Where you at, Bev?
Okay, I'm an early career researcher doing a Master's of Research in iPads with Aboriginal languages from Northeast Arnhem.
Yeah.
So I've been working there for years, but I have been struggling, and so I'm getting my COC ready, but struggling with the methodologies part of it. So, and just like somebody said before, I'm fine. I think it's because I don't understand it myself. The methods, the methodologies, because I want to honour Indigenous methodologies, and yeah, a lot of the reading I find really difficult, but today it's synthesized a little bit and finding some things that I'm understanding, because they're all linked. I didn't realize that the methods and the methodologies all had to link, because I feel like I want to, because I want to honour the Jungian way of doing it, I want to let them dictate that, and it might not fit neatly somewhere. So that's where I'm having trouble trying to write that part.
This is a blessing, Bev. So what you've just said there, and we do record this, Bev, so if you want to listen to yourself and the wisdom you've just expressed, write that down. So,
or lack of.
No, the exact opposite, my angel. We have this notion of method as the how and methodology as the why of the how, why we are conducting issues in this way. And it is, and look, I'll go to Ruth in one second, because Ruth is obviously the expert in this, and I rely on Ruth in all things. But Bev, the thing is, we have this notion in a inverted commas post-colonial environment that methodology and epistemology and ontology fit together, click. And actually all the important knowledges in our lives, they don't click, they fit, then they don't fit, then they rub, then they clash, then they break. And it's the acknowledgement and the writing of the rub that may be the most important thing that you can express in your methodology chapter. Perhaps I'm an idiot, but Bev, you are a gift to us. You stay with us, all right? And I'll go straight to Ruth. Ruth, if I just talked rubbish, please talk to Bev.
No, I agree. I think some of the most interesting theses and interesting papers that I've read really sort of open up that part of the research journey. So I think it's really valuable. And even if it's not something that you include in your final draft, I think it helps move you along.
And I also think as an article, it'd be phenomenal, wouldn't it, Ruth? I would love to read that. The articles that talk about the failures and the misses and the things that don't quite work, they're always the great pieces of work, Bev.
Thank you. That's good to know, because yeah, I've been putting this off and doing all the rest of it, and now it's like, it's a bit like pulling teeth.
Yeah, Bev, speak the argument and write the speech if that helps too. You're amazing, Bev. You're amazing. And Ruth, you're the light of my life and my nemesis, obviously. But can I say, Ruth, what were you writing on, darling one? You're very
so I think I was writing on this the last time I was here as well. And I've been dipping in and out of it ever since. And that's the concept of remoteness. And it's been really interesting, because as I've read and as I've written, it's really opened up maybe a new research question that I didn't realize that I had So that's where I am at the moment.
You keep stretching and growing into that, Ruth, because as somebody who does a bit of work in that area, I'm more regional and rural, but the remote is such an undercooked configuration and a top-down definition, Ruth. If you can render it bottom up meaningful, you'll change our work.
Yeah, I'm finding, thinking about all of the elements of remoteness and not just our official definitions has been really interesting.
Can't manage without you, Ruth. You are so precious to us. I hope you know that. And speaking of precious, it's Max time. Hello, Max. How are you, Max?
Hi.
Hi.
I'm in my research master's office. Yay!
She's here. Fantastic. Well done, Max.
Yes. Wait a minute. Can I just show you because no one's here? I got a really nice office with my other research master students.
I'm so proud of you, Max.
Oh, thank you. I'm so excited. This is my first week and everything's overwhelming and it's very fun. I was just organizing my notes for the week and I am trying to so the first week, a lot of what we read in class is like overviews, like introduction chapters to like handbooks and stuff, which are very dense because they sum up all the literature. And because I don't know much about the literature yet, it's very difficult to read. But I find that rather than trying to understand all of it, I'm trying to highlight some topics that I'm interested in. And I'm trying to see why I am interested in these topics. So I found out somewhere along the line, it's not about the number of topics that I like, it's about the reason why I like them. And it turns out they're not that many. And they connect between classes too. So yeah, I was trying to synthesize my notes during the past week is what I was trying to do.
That is brilliant. How brilliant is Max? Max, we can't manage without you. How proud are we of you, Max? We followed you on this journey. You're a superstar. And then we've got time for one more person because my apologies, I didn't get around because, of course, Nur is about to do her confirmation of candidature in 4 minutes, which we're about to go into. So I'll let you know how our wonderful Nur goes. But Saji, mate, finish us off. How were you? You looked very intense during that period. What were you working on, brother?
Oh, thank you. I'm jealous to topics of your research, no? Yeah, yours are much more meaningful. I'm just working on weightlifters. Oh my gosh, what does it mean to me?
Sweetness. Oh, darling. But how are you going,
I
darling? What were you writing on?
I just finished second study
Oh, yes.
and I just want to start the third one. And that would be easy, but I'm so excited for my conclusion because I have to compare women and men in terms of their performance in weightlifting. I mean, and then I have two other groups, men's in different skill levels. And yeah, um, so uh, sometimes it's hard because I have to dive into the physiology and then I have to just jump back and say, okay, I have to just look at it in terms of just technique. And sometimes you have to mix them together. But at least I can highlight limitations in literature, especially in methodology,
Right.
because I believe that biomechanics and the sport science, they have to just they need a big change. No, they need to use more sophisticated softwares that are very common in engineering. And yeah, but it's too much to just analyze my data using engineer softwares. But anyway, it is what it is.
You are doing brilliant then. And remember, a PhD is the worst piece of research you do, not the best, Saji. And you are doing a magnificent job with what you have. I promise you. So, colleagues,
you.
I'll now go duck off to Nur's fantastic confirmation of cancer. Thank you for spending the last hour with me. Some of you spent 2 hours with me on this International Women's Day. I wish you lots of love, lots of joy. Have a lovely rest of the day. Doug, look after yourself, brother. We're with you, mate. See you soon, colleagues. Bye-bye. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Wow.